All right, that's it. We gotta call it there. No more exorcism movies. You're not allowed to do it anymore. Mike Flanagan, I will make the exception for you and only you. But if even that fails, then there is no hope, and we must cancel exorcism movies for the entire rest of time. Thank you for joining me for my review of The Ritual, starring Dan Stevens and Al Pacino, which are the only things that gave me a little curiosity. Because honestly, exorcism might be my least favorite subgenre of horror. 99.99% of them are exactly the same. They just take all of the things that The Exorcist did 50 years ago, and then they just do them again, but worse. We've seen it. It was effective that time, but it's just like I talked about in my review of Dangerous Animals a couple days ago. You've got the shark movie, just like you've got the exorcism movie. You've got a couple over the course of 50 years that do something a little bit unique, but never live up to that premier example of the subgenre. And for the most part, a lot of people, when they see shark movie or exorcism movie, they're just like, oh, another one? And I could literally sum up my review of this movie with those 3 words. Oh, another one? That's all it is. Whereas I really liked Dangerous Animals, this one was no. The only thing that gave me a little curiosity was Dan Stevens and Al Pacino. I've loved Dan Stevens ever since The Guest. I've always wanted to see him in everything. I think he's awesome. I think he should be in everything. But he's had a lot going on the last couple of years. Good for him. I wish he was in something better than this, but still, I love seeing the guy. And Al Pacino needs no introduction. I was curious to see him in a film like this as well. And the one thing I can say for this movie is that the acting is good. I like seeing these two guys. They bounce off of each other well. The characters are quite different from each other. Dan Stevens is a little more doubtful about the situation, and he's like, maybe we should call a doctor? Like, maybe this girl needs psychological help? I don't know that I'm equipped for this. And then Al Pacino is like, we must exorcise the demons from this girl. We have to do it. And he's just gung-ho about the situation. He's got complete faith, and he wants to help as best as he can. So their performances and the way they bounced off each other was good. The other performances as well, Abigail Cohen plays the girl who is possessed, and she does a good job contorting her face and everything she needs to do to make her look like she's demonically possessed. The acting is good. Other than that, I wanted to go to sleep. I mean, wow. It's crazy how sometimes 90 minutes can feel so long. I was bored from the start, and then I just had to sit there, trapped. I was so bored by this movie that I didn't even think I was gonna do a full review, because I didn't want to talk about it. But I'm here because I need to vent a little bit, and maybe I'll save somebody some money. This takes every single exorcism cliche and just copies and pastes it into this film. There is nothing new, not even remotely close. There's nothing interesting about the way this is told or crafted. There's nothing scary. It doesn't even attempt real, genuine scares. Anybody who's seen any amount of horror in their lives are not going to look at a single second of this movie and find anything approaching what could be considered a scare at all. You have a girl doing a deep demonic voice, and she occasionally jumps off the bed, or she'll grab somebody, and there's some loud jump scare noises, and that's it. It is so tame, so lame, so pathetic in its attempts to be scary. I don't know that I can even call them attempts. There's no story, it's just, this girl's possessed, we gotta do some exorcisms. It documents several rituals that they do over the course of a week or so, and there's not really any story connecting them at all. It's just, we gotta save this girl. There's nothing there. There's barely any characterization. What I told you about the differences between Stevens and Pacino's characters, that's basically all you get with those two, and it's fine enough, but I was never invested in them. I never felt like I really knew them as people because there's so little story actually being covered here. It's very much just exorcism scene to exorcism scene with tiny little bits stringing them together, so I never felt like I really got to care about either of them as people. And the girl who's possessed, the one that we should want to be happy and healthy and saved, we don't know a single goddamn thing about her at all. Eventually they tell us a few things, but it takes a while and it's just told to us. We don't know her at all. There's no character. There's nothing this covers that you haven't seen a million times, even in the dynamic between Pacino and Stevens. You know, one person having more faith and the other being the doubter. That's like the most common dynamic. The theme of doubt versus faith. That's the most common theme you would cover in a movie like this. It's baffling to me that you would make this. Did they think that they were making the first exorcism movie that's ever been made? Obviously they didn't, because they're ripping off every element from every other exorcism movie that's ever been made. But then why do it? You are not doing anything that has not been done before and been done better. Even the directing style in this I found to be obnoxious. The entire film is shot handheld. Even when we're just like sitting at a desk having a conversation, the camera's doing this the entire time. And it just got distracting. I was just annoyed, thinking, why are you doing this? Sit the camera down. This is based on a true story, so I imagine that was done to give it a more realistic feeling, because it's not found footage, it's not a documentary style, but I think he was probably trying to emulate that type of thing to make it feel kind of more natural. But man, doing it all the time was very distracting. He's constantly zooming in and out really quickly. We'll get a way too close close-up of Dan Stevens' face, and then the camera will just be going... You don't have to do that. There's no rhyme or reason to the zooms. Just point the camera. Now, I understand the restrictions because this is based on a true story, so you wanted to portray these men probably as accurately as you could. But let's be honest. None of this happened. You're already lying. You're already making up a fictional story. So just do whatever you want. If you need to invent some stuff to provide some extra characterization, do it. If you need to go more over the top with the scares, do it. This is supposedly the most well-documented exorcism in American history, and I guess that's supposed to be the selling point. But I think it's just funny that the film ends with text that says, "Over the decades, there's been much debate over whether her condition was psychological or spiritual." It's like, oh, you think? It being the most well-documented doesn't really seem to mean anything now, does it? I don't really care how many times somebody writes down, "Oh yeah, she totally levitated off the bed." I'm gonna need a little more than your word on that. You would think the most well-documented cases of something like this would be in like the modern day when we can easily record everything, but oddly enough, the more we've been able to record and understand, these kind of things seem to drop in numbers. Suspicious.
Suspicious.
It's just so bland. It's so boring, and that's the worst crime. I would rather watch a dumb, trashy horror movie that's worse in many ways than be bored. I just had nothing here to latch onto or invest in. It was just giving me everything that I've already seen a million times with none of the craftsmanship to make it good or interesting. 1.5 out of 5. At best. But I think that about covers it for now, for my opinion on The Ritual. If you've seen it, leave your thoughts down in the comments. Whether you agree or disagree, I want to hear your thoughts. Have a conversation down there. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more from me. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.